what's the plans this morning?
Well, we'll head out to the lake, and the wind's blowing pretty good, so we'll have to put this thing on the water and then taxi up into the creek area.
Okay.
And then we'll anchor in the creek area, and both of us clear the shore, and then get out and walk the airplanes into a safer harbor. I think it's going to be our best bet today because that wind is blowing pretty good, and it'll be nice and sheltered up in there. A few alligators, but I don't think they're going to bother us much, and it should be pretty good. I hear the fishing this weekend, in spite of the wind, can fight for sure.
Very good.
So we'll give it our best shot.
Sounds great. Let's go.
Florida has hundreds of lakes, but only about 90 of these lakes are accessible to the public, unless you're Ron Bull and have your own float plane. Ron is a commercial airline pilot that had retired to sunny Central Florida and is now having fun flying and bringing a whole new meaning to the word fly fishing. It was nice to see the terrain change from civilization to a world that looked more like something from Jurassic Park, and we would be today's visitors to this tropical paradise. In the distance, I could see huge white birds that were perched in their rookery, resembling pterodactyls watching our approach as our plane glided into port.
Alrighty.
So this area is not accessible by car, huh?
No. There is one place through private property, but I've only ever seen one of the guy, or one of the group, two guys. I think they make an annual trip.
Trust me, I'm watching for alligators. Not that I can do anything about it right now. Definitely a different kind of fishing. I just have this little voice in the back of my head that keeps telling me that I could very easily be bait out here. We're here with Ron Bull Adventures, fly fishing in Central Florida. Beautiful area, and it looks like this is a good area to catch a couple fish. We saw a bald eagle on the way in. There's a really neat rookery. Not just the fishing, but this is a great area just to see all kinds of different wildlife that you don't normally get to see. There goes a big crane right here. So we're gonna get rigged up and see if we can't catch a couple fish. First fish of the day. Oh, that's a big bluegill. He's pretty. He is a pretty guy. Real dark with an orange belly. Beautiful fish. There's the icebreaker. There's the icebreaker. Fly fishing for panfish in Florida. Off he goes. I like this. I like this. A little bigger fish. Yeah. A little bigger fish this time. Oh. Nice. Wow. Check him. That's exactly what this is.
Is it? Good. I really like this.
Well, I'm wasting my time with this minnow.
Hey, you're the guy that brought me here. I can't help it, I'm catching fish. That's a little bigger fish.
That looks like a little bass from here.
It's actually a real big bluegill,
Is it?
I think. Sneaking over here in my hot spot.
I was sneaking up behind you, so.
Yeah. They just seem to be holding right in the middle of these lily pads here.
Yeah. Seaplane's the way to do it. Float
Neat
plane.
experience.
And, oop, I had one. In addition to that, the area is just so pretty. You've got the cypress trees, the maples, the hardwoods, you have everything. I just enjoy the aesthetics of it as much as I do the actual fishing.
Absolutely.
And the fishing is usually quite good because nobody fishes it.
Well, I can't argue with you as far as how good the fishing is.
There are a lot of bass here. What we're using right now is not. We'll get some small ones, but the bass and crappie, warmouth, what I call a warmouth, I think some people call them rock bass, are in here. A lot of wildlife. And there are several areas like this that I get to with the float plane. And it's either a float plane or a helicopter. And I've never seen a helicopter doing it, so.
Yeah. We're fishing here with Ron Bull Adventures in Central Florida, and what I'm using is a little brown bug. Imitates a little bee or some type of insect that falls in the water. And these little panfish really seem to love it, and I'm going to go back and catch a couple more.
I think that's about all you need to worry about.
Vehicle maintenance is important to get you to your hunting spot, but your bow hunting rig needs maintenance too. String and cable maintenance is the #1 priority to keep your gear shooting well. A string loop for your release is more accurate than clamping onto the string, and it prevents serving wear and keeps your peep sight aligned for a clear sight picture. Many bow techs prefer a tied-on knock locator using overhand knots within the string loop. To tie a string loop on the bow, use double half-hitch knots above and below the arrow knock. Peep sight placement is critical to ensure accuracy. Test your peep location by drawing the bow with your eyes closed, anchoring, then opening your eyes to test your peep sight location. Tie your peep sight securely into the string to keep it from sliding. Waxing the string is important to prevent premature fuzzing and fraying of the string fibers. Then rub the wax briskly into the string to generate heat and saturate the bowstring fibers. Lubricate cams with a quality Teflon-based lube to give you years of trouble-free use. After each hunt, wipe your bow down with a light scent-free oil to keep it from rusting or seizing up. Cable guards and slides can cause noise and missed shots. Keep them free of dust and dirt, but do not lubricate them. Simply clean them with alcohol. Quiet your arrow rest with felt or moleskin to eliminate alerting your quarry. Inspect your broadheads for rust and sharpness, and always replace broadhead O-rings at least once a year. Visually check arrows for cracks or loose fletching. Proper care of your bow will give you years of bow hunting success without interruption. I'm Rob Kaufhold, and that's your Lancaster Archery Tech Tip of the Week.
Now he's awake. Guess he thinks we don't see him.
Well, I think it's camouflaged by the branch. Let's go with flies. Not the big one, though.
Now it's time for Nightingale's Call of the Week with David Hale.
You know, an owl call is a very important call in the springtime because you're trying to imitate the barred owl. Now, a lot of people think you're trying to imitate the hoot owl, but it's the barred owl, not the horn owl. And in making the sounds of a barred owl, you're going to make a turkey shock gobble. The ideal way to do it on this particular call is to create a vacuum here with your hand and a sound board with the other hand. In other words, if you don't, you're going to make a sound like, it sounds like a quack. You want to squeeze off on this end to tighten your air down and bank it into your left hand. And when you do that, you put the rhythm of a barred owl, which is then when you put the laugh in it, that's what really makes them gobble. And then we have what we call the enhancer. It squeezes the air down for you. You don't have to go through all those techniques. But once you learn it, you want volume, you take it off. The thing that really makes a turkey gobble is you're trying to shock it out of him. You want to make the laugh. This is a mating sound, or it's a sound that the owls make a lot in the spring, and it's part of the rhythm in which owls are actually laughing at one another, and they go. If you don't gobble at that, you probably won't gobble at anything.
Now it's time for Making Sense Out of Sense with Don Bell, brought to you by Code Blue.
Have you heard about the new concept? It's called scentology, the study of scent. You know, doing seminars around the country, the number one and second most important question people ask me all the time, and it's also the two words that most people misunderstand, is when the rut is, and the second one is the word estrus. Most hunters think that the buck's world is all driven around the word estrus, around a doe that is in estrus. Actually, the word estrus means an animal will stand and not run. If we were sitting here like this and all of a sudden a doe come running across and came and went up this ridge here, you'd say, hey Don, look at that doe. That doe's in estrus. But in reality, she's not in estrus. She's coming into estrus. The word estrus means an animal will stand and not run. Most people say, you heard last year, they said, you know, the rut was all screwed up. But what they were talking about is that the weather wasn't cold enough to bring in the majority of the does in at a given time. The word estrus means an animal will stand and not run. That's very important. The peak of the rut where you hunt, whether it's in the north or where I live in Alabama, is when the majority of the does are standing and not running. If you understand that, you will be able to hunt at an exact period of time and a given deer at a given spot. Folks, this year I understand the word scentology, and it'll make success for you this year. My name is Don Bell, and I'm with Code Blue.
Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter for hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Call us toll-free or shop online.
This is a real good example of what you call a dust bowl or strut zone. This is where Big Gobbler's been strutting around on the sand pile. You can see where his wings have been dragging at different angles. Feather laying right in here. So you know he's in the area. We haven't found him yet. We'll keep looking. We also have right here next to the strut zone is a couple droppings. When you're walking through the woods or you're going down trails, make sure you pay attention. Look for the droppings, look for the tracks, look for the dust bowls, the strut zones, things like that. That'll let you know turkeys are in the area. And you work from there and see what you can come up with. So my tip of the week is pay attention when you're walking through the woods. You can learn a lot about turkeys just by looking on the ground.
Central Florida is also the home of the magnificent Box Sanctuary and Bell Tower, a national historic landmark that is worth a visit. Here's a sample. Our accommodations for our stay were at the luxurious gated community of Southern Dunes in Haynesville, which we highly recommend if you plan to travel to Central Florida.
Bring it on in.
And I can almost bet that there's another one right there. That first spot that I fished today, Ron, right 20 yards away from the airplane, I think I caught 10 right there.
And this is a beautiful time of the year too for Florida. March and April, just gorgeous.
Well, Ron, we had a fantastic day of fishing. I can see why you guys are hooked on going after these brim with a fly rod. It was a great day. Now, if somebody'd like to get more information about going on a Ron Bull adventure, I guess you guys have a website, right?
We do. It's called ronbulladventures.com, and full information, pictures, and we'd be happy to take you out.
All right, so be sure and give Ron a call at the number at the bottom of your screen. And always remember, it doesn't matter whether you're hunting or fishing, your actions represent millions of other sportsmen out there with what you do. So always be an ethical sportsman. We'll see you next week right here on USA Outback.
For more information about USA Outback, visit our website. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the Outback.